Let me tell you something that most men out here are never going to hear. And I mean genuinely, honestly, dead serious. The reason you're losing women has nothing to do with your bank account. It has nothing to do with your height, your jawline, your car, or how many times you hit the gym this week. None of that. The real reason most men fail with women, the reason they get a polite smile, a one-word text reply, and then radio silence, is because they never learned how to do one single thing. They never learned how to reach her mind. And listen to me carefully when I say this. A woman's mind is the real game. That is where attraction is born. That is where desire lives, breathes, grows, and burns. The physical stuff? That gets her to look. But her mind? Her mind is what makes her stay. See, any guy at all, can walk up and compliment her. You're beautiful. I love your style. You have the most amazing eyes. She's heard it 10,000 times before lunch. Any guy can flex his job title, drop what he drives, name drop where he vacationed. She's heard that script so many times she can recite it before he even opens his mouth. But the man, the rare, quiet, composed man, who walks up and asks her something she has never been asked before? The man who makes her stop mid-sentence, tilt her head slightly, look at him differently, and think, wait, nobody has ever said that to me? That man doesn't just capture her attention for the moment. He occupies real estate in her mind she didn't even know she was offering. She'll be in the shower 3 days later still thinking about that conversation. She'll be at dinner with her girlfriends and suddenly zone out because something reminded her of what he said. That's the power I'm talking about. That's what I'm handing you today. 6 questions, carefully crafted, psychologically grounded, emotionally intelligent, that will make a woman feel something most men never give her the opportunity to feel. Not just desired, not just noticed, genuinely seen. And I need you to understand the difference because it is everything. Being looked at is passive, being complimented is surface. But being seen, truly seen, in the fullness of who you are, the complexity, the contradictions, the private thoughts you never say out loud, that is one of the deepest human needs that exists. And when a man can provide that, he becomes something completely different to her. He becomes unforgettable. Now think about what the average woman experiences on a daily basis. She wakes up, gets dressed, and from the moment she steps outside, the world starts consuming her appearance. Eyes scanning her, comments about how she looks, compliments on her outfit, her lips, her figure, men in her DMs performing their best version of charming, guys at bars reciting the same openers like they rehearsed in the mirror. She has been running on emotional autopilot for so long she doesn't even realize it anymore. The scripted smile is automatic. The polished answers come out before she even thinks. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I'm pretty busy lately. He's just a friend. She is giving everyone the surface version of herself because nobody has ever shown up and asked for anything deeper. So when you walk in, calm, present, grounded, and you ask her something that genuinely interrupts that autopilot, something that makes her brain actually engage, something that reaches past the rehearsed responses she gives to 90% of people she meets, you don't just become interesting. You become incomparable, because now she's not just reacting to you, she's thinking about you. She's feeling something unexpected, something warm, something that says this man is different. And she can't fully explain why, which makes it even more powerful. That inexplicable pull? That's exactly what we're engineering today. And before I get into these 6 questions, real quick, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now because I am consistently dropping psychological breakdowns and connection strategies that go so far past the surface-level dating advice, flooding your feed, it's not even comparable. You do not want to miss what's coming next. Now let's get into it. Question 1. And this one sets the entire tone for everything that follows. What's something you used to believe about yourself that you've completely let go of? Stop and think about what this question is actually doing. You are not asking where she works. You are not asking what her weekend plans are. You are not asking the same small talk questions she fields every single day. You are walking directly into her personal evolution. You are telling her, without saying it explicitly, I am interested in who you were and who you chose to become. I want to understand how life has shaped you. That level of intention, That depth of genuine curiosity communicates something to a woman that no amount of charm or good looks can replace. It says, "I see you as a full human being with a story worth understanding." When she answers this, you will hear things she rarely gets to say. Maybe she used to believe she wasn't smart enough. Maybe she used to believe she had to shrink herself to be loved. Maybe she used to believe the relationship that destroyed her was somehow her fault. Whatever she shares, it is real, it is personal. And here is the most important thing you can do in that moment. Do not rush to respond. Do not immediately share your own version of the story. Do not offer advice or analysis. Just hold the space. Let silence exist for a moment. Let her feel safe enough to go even deeper if she wants to. That quiet, steady, unhurried presence you bring, that is masculine confidence she can feel in her chest. She will remember that moment long after the conversation ends. Question 2. When do you feel most like yourself? Zero filter, completely free, no performance. This question bypasses every logical, surface-level topic and goes straight into emotional territory. You are asking her where her soul actually exhales. Where does she go when she needs to feel real? Whatever she tells you, road trips with no destination, painting at midnight, dancing alone in her kitchen, sitting in silence watching the sun come up. She is handing you a private piece of herself that most people in her life have never asked to see. And here's the psychology working underneath the surface. The moment she shares that authentic, unguarded part of herself with you, she begins unconsciously connecting you to that feeling. That feeling of freedom, that feeling of being fully herself. She starts to associate that with your presence. That is not manipulation. That is emotional chemistry happening in real time, and it is one of the most powerful forms of attraction that exists. Question 3. If fear wasn't a factor, no judgment, no financial pressure, no expectations from anyone, what would your life actually look like right now? I call this a permission question, and it might be the most powerful one on this entire list. What you are doing here is handing her a blank canvas and saying, out loud, with your calm, steady energy, dream out loud. I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to minimize it. I'm just going to listen. Every single woman you will ever meet is carrying something she has been told to shrink. Some version of herself she was afraid to say out loud because the world laughed at it or dismissed it or called it unrealistic. Some dream she quietly buried because it felt safer to be practical. When you create a space where she can breathe that dream back to life, even just for a few minutes, you stop being just another man in her life. You become a safe place. And a safe place, especially for a woman who has learned to guard herself, is wildly, magnetically, deeply attractive. She will feel a kind of emotional freedom in your presence that she hasn't felt in a long time. And emotional freedom? That creates powerful, lasting attraction. Question 4. What's something about you that most people completely misread? Here is something true about every single woman on this planet. Regardless of how confident she looks, how put together her life appears, how effortlessly she carries herself, somewhere inside, she feels fundamentally misunderstood. Maybe people think she's cold when she's actually just deeply protective of her energy. Maybe people think she has it all figured out when she's quietly struggling more than anyone knows. Maybe people think she's happy when she's carrying something heavy she never talks about. This question gives her permission to reveal that invisible layer, to show you the dimension of herself that most people never earn the right to see. And because you asked, because you built the space safe enough for her to walk into it, you become the person she now associates with being truly understood. That is attraction at its deepest, most lasting level. Not loud, not performative, quietly, profoundly personal. Question 5. If you could go back and say one thing to the girl you were 5 years ago, what would you tell her? This question is an emotional portal, and I want you to treat it like one. You are not just making conversation. You are inviting her to travel back through her own timeline. And when she does, you are seeing something extraordinary. You are not just seeing the woman sitting in front of you. You are seeing the girl she used to be, the heartbreaks that taught her, the moments that broke her open, the version of herself she had to fight to become. When a man can see all of that, the past that shaped her, the present she's navigating, the potential she's still growing into. She bonds at a level that most men never come close to reaching. You stop being someone she had a conversation with. You become woven into her self-understanding. And that kind of connection does not fade. It deepens. Question 6. Save this one, because this is the closer. What does real love actually feel like to you? Not what movies told you, not what you were taught growing up. What do you genuinely believe in your gut? This is the question that separates the men who are playing the surface game from the men who are completely changing how women experience connection. You are asking her to define love on her own terms, stripped of fairy tales, stripped of Instagram aesthetics, stripped of every expectation the world has placed on what love is supposed to look like. And in her answer, you will learn more about who she actually is in 60 seconds than most people learn in 60 days. You will discover whether she's been hurt and is healing, whether she's been loved poorly and is learning what she actually deserves, whether she has a vision for connection that nobody in her life has ever taken seriously. And when she finishes answering and she looks at you, she will realize something quietly, something she may not even say out loud. This man actually wanted to know, not to use it, not to perform interest, but because he genuinely cared. And that realization? That lands somewhere deep. Now here is the part that ties every single one of these questions together. And this is where most men get it completely wrong even when they have the right words. These questions are not scripts. They are not tricks. They are not psychological hacks you deploy to get a result. They only work. And I mean, they only work when you ask them from a place of genuine, authentic, real curiosity. Because women are not just hearing your words. They are feeling your intention behind them. They can sense whether you are present or performing. They can feel whether your stillness is real or rehearsed. And when your intention is authentic, when you are truly there, truly listening, truly interested in who she actually is beneath the surface she shows the world, she doesn't just feel attracted to you. She feels safe with you. And a woman who feels safe with a man she's also attracted to, she opens in ways she hasn't in years. She lowers walls she forgot she even built. She shows you versions of herself she has been quietly protecting because nobody ever seemed worth revealing them to. So stop performing, stop pitching yourself, stop listing your accomplishments and waiting for her to be impressed. Start asking. Start listening. Start showing up with the kind of calm, grounded, masculine presence that says, without a single word, I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to actually know you. Because the man who asks the right questions doesn't just get the girl for the night. He gets her mind. He gets her trust. He gets her genuine, deep, lasting desire. And that is something no amount of money, no physique, no clever line, no flashy lifestyle can buy. That is real attraction. And it starts with a question. Drop a comment below right now. Tell me which one of these 6 questions you are going to use first, because I genuinely read every single comment and I want to know. And if you are not subscribed yet, do it right now. Because the next video I'm dropping is going to completely shift how you walk into every room, every conversation, every interaction you have with a woman from this point forward. You do not want to miss it. Let's go.